Okay, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Chancer, the fantasy football show we bring you here each and every week on the Upper Tier podcast on YouTube. Make sure and subscribe, like, share all the content. The boys are putting out some great stuff at the moment. Pretty much on a daily basis, you're seeing live shows drop, Liverpool shows, football shows, transfer shows, everything and anything at the moment. And we'll keep pushing on to try to get to that 1,000 subscribers so we can start getting a bit of money out of this one. Big YouTube money. Let's do it, guys. Subscribe. Okay, we're going to have a look at last week. So, game week 22 last week, I went with Sanchez in goal. Obviously, Dean Henderson was my sub goalkeeper, but he's out for the season now. So, that's something I'm going to need to address in the upcoming weeks. Nico Williams, clean sheet, which was very good to see. He hasn't been playing a lot for Nottingham Forest. So, I was kind of considering maybe taking him out of the team. But obviously, with the clean sheet now, I can kind of maybe hope we keep him in my squad for a bit longer and see how it goes. And in beside him then, Sven Botman and William Saliba both failed to keep clean sheets last week. Obviously, Newcastle with a poor result away to West Ham, and William Saliba with Arsenal's loss to Dycheball last week in the early kickoff, which didn't really surprise me with that new manager bounce. And, you know, I like Sean Dyche as a manager, so I hope he does well with Everton there. So no hard feelings, Sean, over that one because we didn't lose points in the end. Mo Salah, 2 points again, absolutely anonymous at the moment for Liverpool, and I have taken him out of my team for the upcoming week, which we'll get into shortly. Marcus Rashford, absolutely on fire. Would you say he's the best player in the league at the moment? He has to be right up there. I think he's the most informed player in the league and probably the best player in the league at the moment. And beside him then, Saka and Odegaard, both very poor games last week. Arsenal had a complete off day when you consider the standards that they've set so far this season. So they'll be looking to put that right this week again. But last week, the Arsenal players just did not deliver. One man that did deliver again, and he delivers on a regular basis, I always say it, Harry Kane. If Tottenham score a goal, it's most likely going to be Harry Kane. So Harry Kane with another goal, couple of bonus points. And, even when Tottenham are doing bad, Kane is still scoring, and Mitrovic going through a bit of a dry spell at the moment on 2 points, and Erling Haaland, unfortunately, didn't do anything last week, just a measly 2 points as well. So on the bench then, you could see Henderson is there. Obviously, he's injured. Andres Pereira left on the bench, and Bueno and Collins were actually two players that were playing for Wolves, and that's why I had them in my team. But now, worryingly, none of them played last week, so that might be something I need to address going into the upcoming weeks. So we're going to take a look at the league table now. Okay, the upper tier. Okay, so we see Graham Ward pretty much still out in front there. 1,376, fantastic score really for the moment. And number 3 there on 106 points, Miss Melina, who I've had on my show, Cheapy Productions podcast. She's very, very, very knowledgeable girl on the fantasy football, and 106 points, an absolute colossal total last week. So fair play to her. Mark Hogan there, not too far behind as well. And if we scroll down, we can see Darren is still on the rise here. Darren's going through a good moment at the moment in fantasy. He's up to 16 there. So I got up one spot to 21. So 21 out of 42, pretty much exactly in the middle is where kind of I expected to be with this thing at this point, and probably for the rest of it as well, to be honest. But yeah, so we still have the 42 teams, which is good as well. Nobody has dropped out yet, which I like to see. So bit of banter. And now we go into game week 23, which is going to be an absolutely pivotal week in the Premier League. So I'm going to go with Sanchez in goal again. Crystal Palace away. Brighton doing unbelievable things still at the moment. So absolutely fantastic to see them still doing well, especially with the departure of Graham Potter. Then I went for William Saliba, Brentford at home, Man City at home. 2 home games, not too easy home games. Obviously, Brentford will be a tight game, I would suspect. But if Arsenal want to push on and try and win this league, they really need to be taking 4 points out of these 2 games. And you'd look at them ideally and you'd say, a win at Brentford, a draw with City, keep City at bay. But you have to remember Manchester United are playing Leeds. Manchester United will catch up some ground as well. And I don't think Manchester United are out of this title race just yet. Obviously, the draw with Leeds the other night was disappointing, but I think the door is not fully closed on it yet, and it's up to Arsenal really to stamp their authority this week and prove that they're there for the test. So that remains to be seen. Beside him, then I have Sven Botman, Bournemouth away. Bournemouth, a little bit of a mini resurgence with them. They're kind of overachieving, I guess. I think a lot of people expect them to go down. I still think they may go down. I still think they will go down, I'll say. But, Newcastle, a couple of draws lately, maybe hitting a bit of a bumpy patch, but not losing games, which is encouraging for them as well. And, I would say they're in the bracket of overachieving at the moment as well. So beside Botman, I've went for Nathan Collins. Hopefully he gets reinstated into the team. Southampton away. Southampton leaking a lot of goals still, but seemingly stabilized a little bit. So that's going to be a very interesting game. I can't see there being a lot of goals in that one. I know the guys were talking about it on the beat the bookie there, and a couple of people were thinking both teams to score. I don't fancy it in that game, but can be open to be proved wrong. In the middle of the park then, so I have put Riyad Mahrez in this week for Mo Salah, and it's two reasons for that. First reason is Mo Salah just has not been in good form. Second reason is Man City double round. So Riyad Mahrez, one of the more consistent midfielders for Manchester City this year. So I've went with him in the middle of the park, flanked by Saka and Odegaard, who both have 2 games as well. I know their games are against each other, Arsenal, Man City, but if Saka and Odegaard can deliver against Brentford, that kind of reduces the risk of that one. And obviously Marcus Rashford, the most informed player in the league, as I said earlier. Leeds away, Leeds caused them a lot of problems at Old Trafford. So will we see the same type of game, or will it be a completely different game? It remains to be seen. Now, up front, I have went for Mitrovic, Nottingham Forest at home. You would expect that that's the type of game that Mitrovic will get on the score sheet for. Keylor Navas was fantastic for Nottingham Forest last week, and I will get him into my team for the injured Dean Henderson when the funds allow me over the next coming weeks. Harry Kane on the far side, Leicester away. Leicester, fantastic win last week, 4-2. And Harry Kane scoring still. So I can see there being definitely goals in that game between Spurs and Leicester. And it's really, really hard to call. Tottenham, inconsistent, winning a big game last week against Man City. They got the floor wiped with them with Arsenal, different teams. You just don't know what kind of Tottenham is going to show up. So that's why I haven't really went for him as my captain, but I still would expect him to score. But who I have went with as my captain would be Erling Haaland. And Erling Haaland double week doesn't make sense if he's not your captain, really. And I know he's been through a few sticky patches lately in a couple of games, but so is the whole team, really. So, if he scores 1, he scores 2, he scores 3 possibly, So that's the type of player he is. 2 games, if he can get a few goals against Arsenal and Villa, like that'd be a huge, huge points tally for them. Was kind of tempted to go with the triple captain this week on him, but I decided just to keep it for a little bit longer just to see what happens. On the bench then, as you can see, Dean Henderson injured, Pereira, Fulham at home, Nico Williams, Fulham away. Sorry, Pereira was Nottingham Forest at home, and Nico Williams, Fulham away. And I have Bueno then, Southampton away. So I don't really think I'm missing too much on the bench there, considering the players I have in the middle of the park. So that's what I'm going for this week. And don't forget, guys, the Upper Tier podcast on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, everything you can. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm on the old Jemison. Come on, you Gunners.